There we go. Recording started. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our 180, 90-second Betting Online Sports Economics seminar. Before I introduce Tazio and let him take away his talk, just to say that there's an impending deadline for... Oh, there's some additional commentary coming in. There's an impending deadline for the second Latin American Sports Economics Conference. Let me see if I can find. I will quickly share my screen with the website so that you can see that. And screen. Oh, there we go. So the second Latin American Sports Economics Conference is the deadline for paper submissions is tomorrow. As you can see, the keynote speakers are Stefan Szymanski, who's here today, and David Forrest as well. It's obviously a fantastic scientific committee as well there, and it promises to be a great event. So if you are interested, please do submit a paper to the second Latin American Sports Economics Conference. Today in our talk, we have Tazio Panzani from the University of Perugia, and he is presenting on demand for Italian football. His actual title is How Fans React to Prices and Performance, Historical Evidence from Italian Serie A. Tazio, you've got an hour in which to talk, and are you happy to take questions as you go along if people raise their hands?
Yeah. When
Okay,
people
perfect.
want to talk, so yeah.
Yeah.
All
yours, Tazio.
Thank you for the invitation and the introduction, James. So I'm Tazio Panzani from University of Perugia, and I'm doing my PhD in Perugia, second year PhD student. And I'm working also in reading with James. And this project is on working. We are working on this project, and it's not finished. I'm working with James and Vincenzo Alfano. The title is How Fans React to Prices and Performance: Historical Evidence from Italian Serie A. So the overview. We will start with the literature very briefly. Then we are going to focus on our main dependent variable, that is the attendance. Then we change aside checking the explanatory variables. Prices will be the best variable we use, and then frameworks and models and conclusion. So I divided the literature in two different kind: general studies and reviews, which you can find Borland and McDonald, which is a paper very important because it allows us to label the determinants of the stadium attendance. Stadium attendance, that is a phenomenon that everybody, every sport economist once in life going to study. And for example, we have the Garcia Rodriguez or Buraimo, Forrest and Simons paper, which are the first on the Spanish tournament, and the other one on the English one. It's very important also for me, the Coates, Humphries and Zhu paper, in which there is a formalization of a framework about the uncertainty of outcome hypothesis. And then the last one is a review of a few years ago, and it's a wonderful review because there are a lot of football paper, not only stadium attendance in all sports, but also mainly in football. For the Italian attendance, I found only 4 papers that are talking about this situation. The first one is a little, when I found it, was a little bit scary, because is La domanda di calcio in Italia, Serie A 1962-2006, which is a paper, an Italian paper on an Italian journal that I found a few days ago, and because it wasn't so easy to find. And it also he explored the same period that we are exploring, more or less with the same determinants. But fortunately, the model used is a completely different model. They don't address, they use a panel data, but they don't, they have a panel data, but they don't use a panel data. So the conclusion are problematic for this misspecification. Then there are other free papers on different time range, but short time range. The first one, the competitive intensity funds expectation, is about 3 years. The third one about 7 years, and the last one about 5. I can suggest, I mean, there are different papers. The one by Alexander John Bond and Francesco Ressa are focused more on the expectation and competitiveness, while the last one is about oliganism, because in that period, 2007-2012, in Italy there was some issues with the supporters, and is a paper that I suggest to read. Something interesting is that this free paper uses a different models, and probably the Tobit model could be an improvement also for our studies. So now we can focus a little on the attendance. This is the evolution of match day attendance and season tickets over time. In this project, we are checking the seasonal level and the match level, and you will see that for me, and for us, are very connected. Also, as the literature suggests. The evolution of match day and season are following the same trend, as you can see, the same trend more or less. The fun fact and the interesting fact is that they share determinants, and but sometimes the determinants has a different impact on this evolution, while the evolution more or less is the same. So the database was built from scratch. So the main, very important for us was the website Study a Postcard. That is a website in which we collect the data on prices from 1963 to 2001, and also the attendance. You can find attendance everywhere, probably, but we rely a lot about this data. The panel data, of course, is unbalanced due to the relegation mechanism and, unfortunately, in Italy, financial and legal issues that are affecting some clubs. Additional variables are available for a subset of data, reducing the sample size. For example, as I put in the table, we have two samples that are that we use a lot. The first one is from the season 1963 to 2001, and the other one is from the season 1978-1979 to 2001-2002. More or less, it doesn't change a lot, and you will see it. But if you want to include the weather forecast data, we have to use the shorter sample. We have the number of teams, 48 teams for the first sample, 40 for the second, 38 season for the first, and 22 season for the second. The last one is the combination between home and away. Home and away would be the home team and the away team, and is important if you, economically talking, if you want to create a measure, a fixed effect for this combination. As you can see here, the imbalance at the seasonal level. We can say that we have more or less 20 teams with more than 10 seasons and 20 teams with less than 10 seasons. In a match level situation, our cut point is 200 matches that split into different way the panel data. So when I think that is important, not only the total amount of people who go to the stadium, but also the fill rate. The fill rate is the attendance on the stadium capacity, and it's useful because we can we are independent from the team who change in the league. And you can see that the situation is not good, very different from the UK one, for example, because we have normally the attendance between the 50% and the 70% of the stadium capacity. I need to clarify this point that the stadium capacity is not so easy to find for the stadium in Italy. You know that in Italy, stadiums are very old, and sometimes there was the clubs close or open some parts of the stadium. So this stadium capacity changes over time. It's not fixed. And the information about it is the information which we can rely on is the one of Wikipedia, because there are sections of stadium that are pretty good, but of course it's Wikipedia. So this is could be a limitation. If you are curious about the fill rate over time for per teams with more than 10 seasons, we can see some trends. For example, we can see that it's interesting. The third line, always the third line when we have this kind of figure is interesting because there is Inter Milan and Juventus. The name of the teams are in Italian, so if you have any doubts, ask me. More or less are the same, but Inter Milan is only Inter. And something nice is that Juventus, for example, is one of the few cases in Italy in which a club could build his own stadium. And when more or less they built the stadium in 2013, and you can see that from that point there is a big increase of the fill rate. Of course, they built a stadium that with not the biggest capacity as possible, only I think 45,000 people. A UK stadium, I could say. You have to think that Inter and Milan playing in San Siro have a stadium of more or less 85,000 people. So it's also more difficult to achieve a good fill rate. But anyway, you can see that the trend more or less is the same. Also, Udinese, for example, bought his own stadium. He didn't build it, but he bought the license for 100 years with the municipality. And we can say that this thing has an impact. Also Atalanta and also Cagliari. So if we want to study from an inferential, a causal inference point of view, would be something interesting. Some box plot and distribution. This is the comparison between the whole sample, that is the orange box plot, and the blue one is only the period we are studying. And we can see that there is a decrease of the stadium attendance. And another point that is important with this kind of study is the distribution of attendance, because as you can see there are two boundaries, the zero and the stadium capacity. So sometimes probably a Tobit model, as I was saying before, is the best, could be the best option to study it. So now we can move to prices. In Italy, I don't know in other countries, but for sure in Italy, the football system is very close. So it's difficult to collect information and try to get information outside that core of people who manage the information. So, for example, the prices are available only until 2000, so historical price only. It's very hard and difficult to find other kind of prices. The only thing is probably that every summer you have to collect the seasonal price and see stuff like this. So you can see that the first one is the average seasonal ticket price, which was increasing until the season 1988, 1989, that is more or less 3 years before the World Cup, the Italy World Cup. And then the prices are going down, while the average single ticket price is increasing over time. The other lines are the teams. Of course, would be crazy to put all the names. So is now we will see another figure. Few different statistics. Teams with more than 10 seasons, and the other one is teams with less than 10 seasons. You can see that there is like the more you stay in the tournament, the higher you can put your price. It seems very easy to see. Probably something that we can study a little bit more, but from this table you can feel this situation. Yeah, Alex, go for it.
Yeah. Just a question: is it the nominal prices?
Yeah,
or
thank
real
you for the question. Yeah, real prices. Real prices 24 is the reference year, adjusted, of course, for the inflation. Yeah.
Thank you.
In euro. Yeah. Okay, so these are the price trends figures for per teams, and you can see that there is always this increasing for, as I told you before, third line, if you want to check for the big team. Only Milan, that is the second team of Milano, is decreasing. This, there is this. Yeah, go, George.
Yeah, on prices, yes, I'm wondering is there, because the change is like in 99 or so. Yeah, you said 99. Does the fact that before you had lira and then you have euros have something to do with the trend?
No. Could be, but I address, of course, also for the change between the two coin, yeah. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because there is a literature on the effect of inflation when Europe changed to euros. So it's I understand you did deflate it, but it might have an effect or something.
Yeah, we can probably put something to account for it. Yeah. Thank you, Vincenzo. So an end. Okay. I go on. So yeah, this is the trend per teams. Yeah. Then another interesting figure is this one. This plot is showing us the mean of yeah, Vincenzo, if you have a question. No. Okay. Okay. So in this plot, you can see that the dot is the mean of the season price, while the triangle is the mean of the single ticket of the single ticket. More or less everywhere, in every club, for each club, the single ticket is higher than the attendance ticket. For attendance ticket, now I'm talking about not the ticket in the bundle, the ticket in the seasonal ticket. Here we have some teams. There are the biggest team, also the team of my city, that is Mantova, and the city of Perugia, that is my university. And you can see that also Naples was the one with the highest average price for a single match day ticket, but they use this strategy to put a very low season ticket price. And if we check to the other plot, Napoli was the one who has the biggest fill ratio in the stadium. Yeah, Alex, please.
Thank you. Well, just to understand, you have average price of a ticket from the seasonal ticket. That is, you take the price and divide by the number of matches. So how do you do it?
Yeah, perfect.
But
this way.
the point is that I don't know. In some countries, this seasonal ticket includes also some other matches, like qualification in Europe or cup matches. No,
in
it's
Italy,
only for the league.
in Italy is only for the league. Yeah. Also now is in this way.
And another question is, how do you take the average price per ticket? Because you have different stands and different. So let's say you have a stand of 100 people and the average price is 100 euros, but then you have a stand of 5,000 people and the price is 20 euros. How exactly is it simple average or weighted average?
Thank you for the question. I will point it out later, but I can do it now. I can do now. And so we have the revenue for the seasonal ticket, the revenue for the average ticket, it's just for the match day ticket, and we divided from with the total attendance of that we have in the match. So it's very very brutal. I mean, also the other paper who looks at this time this period uses the same strategy, but because we cannot do anything different, because we have only these revenues of the ticket, not the price, the revenues for the teams, and we divided. So yeah, it's better to say that are not the real prices, but are a proxy of the price. But it's a proxy that we did the same for each team, so we can think that more or less is a proxy who synthesize the true things behind it.
But the revenue from seasonal ticket, do they kind of smooth it through the entire season? Because I get the money in the beginning of the season, and then how do I count it for all the other matches? Do they divide it just by the number of matches? How exactly do they do it?
I mean, I did it in this way. I had the revenue of the seasonal tickets. I saw how many seasonal tickets were sold. I divided the thing, and then I divided for the matches. The matches, assuming that there is only one time in which you can buy seasonal tickets, and is the summertime. Only one time occasion.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So why is historical time period interesting? This is another plot of the total attendance per season, and there is only one point that I can explain very easy, that is the 2006, 2007, when Juventus wasn't playing in the tournament for legal issues, I would say, for this Calciopoli scandal. But this time is interesting for well, first of all, because it's the only period which has a proxy for price data. Here I wrote proxy, and Serie A was important and relevant in that period, not like today, and also is almost there is almost the absence of overlaps with broadcasting, because you have to think that the first company who could broadcast all the matches started from 1996 to 1997. So we have only few years in which there is this overlap. Okay, so a little bit of descriptive statistics. I go, yeah.
Just a short question on that. And remember one, because at the beginning you showed the number of seasons that you had teams, each team. And you had, if I remember well, you had Roma and Juventus, the same number of seasons. But Juventus did play in second division and Roma didn't. So why do they have the same number of seasons?
Okay,
or did I
because
look,
this is no, good question. This is the sample. This is the sample we are using. And in the sample, Juventus never have been never relegated.
No, yeah, Juventus. When did Juventus play in second division this century, right? And you have data from 2006 or something like that.
No,
when
no,
do you end? Sorry, what's your sample?
From 1963 to 2001. This sample that I'm showing you.
Okay, 2001. Okay, my bad. Sorry.
Okay, no problem.
Okay.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, what he was, I was just puzzled by what he was saying about broadcasting, because although maybe it was not all games available from '96, but I mean, Italy's famous for Berlusconi buying up AC Milan and putting it all on cable TV, right? And Italy was one of the leaders in football TV broadcasting.
It's something that I'm studying. No, the full broadcasting started in that season, and before there was a Rai that wasn't connected with Berlusconi because Berlusconi owns Mediaset, who could only broadcast one match but not in real time, not in real time.
But but you could watch games on cable on Berlusconi's Mediaset, right?
Yeah, but later, not
in the 1980s. Are you sure?
I think they start in '99 with the Mediaset or Stream. I don't remember the name, but I'm pretty sure about it.
I'm old enough to remember when Sky started broadcasting the Premier League in 1992, and we were already saying how far behind England was behind Italy because Italy had been broadcasting games for much of the previous decade. So I really think maybe I'm I go again age, maybe I'm mistaking, but I think you should check.
Yeah, no, I will check, and thank you to say it. But I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure about it. But I will check later.
Because the story of Berlusconi is that he made money because he decided to instead of showing movies and stuff, he discovered that football was a better business, and so yes, I had the idea also that Italy was like the pioneer in Europe of showing football beyond Rai, which is the public and so yeah. So I think there is something that happened in the 80s, if I remember well, also.
I will check, but I'm not sure about it. I will check for sure. I don't know if there could be have a match, but I don't think. But I will check. Thank you, and I will let you know. I can. Another question on this.
If possible. So I'm going back to those technicalities because you buy the seasonal ticket in the beginning of the season, but the beginning of the season varied pretty much over the years. So for example, now I checked, in 1988-89 season started in October 9th, but seasons like 2000 or something started in August. So this could also affect the, maybe people are not used to buy that early or whatever. And then this really affects the average. Maybe I buy it after second, third, fourth match. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. I write it, but normally there is only a window in which you can a fixed time in the summer in which you can buy the ticket, this seasonal ticket, and then it's not available. Normally it's in this way, but I will check. I will check it because it's a strong assumption, of course. So he has to be checked a few times, in a different way also. But for the time, the season normally starts started in September, and now it's always starting a little bit earlier because the season is very long. It depends also on the clubs who were playing the league, because sometimes the league sometimes had 15 clubs, other times 18 clubs, other time 20. They changed this rule of how many participants could participate to the league, but I will check for this assumption. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so some descriptive statistics. I will go faster on this point. Yeah, I mean, something that we can yeah, I mean, I go fast because there are all the variables that if there is something that you want to go, we can, but otherwise I will take later the statistical. So explanatory variables, using the literature about stadium attendance, we are using 5 different kind of variable. There is the uncertainty of outcome, that is for us is we use for this category the probability of winning, computed with a Dixon and Cole model. That, I mean, I don't know if this is the best choice. We could also use the ELO rating or other measure, but for the moment we are using this one, and is modeled historically from the season back to the first season to model the offensive and defensive ability, and is a model which involves a double Poisson. And we use this probability in linear and quadratic terms as canonical. Then we have the viewing quality. Unfortunately, we don't have a direct measure of stadium quality because, as I told you before, there are a few issues with the stadium, and so probably something that we can do is check the age of the stadium and put the age of the stadium, if we assume that the age of the stadium is connected with its quality, but it's a strong assumption also this one. We have temperature and precipitation within the agri forecast data, and there is the day of the week and the season for this category. Then quality of the game, we use the percentage points, home percentage point and away percentage point, and a dummy for playing against big teams. Why the percentage point? Because until a season there was winning gave only 2 points, and then it started to have the value of 3 points. So that with this difference, the percentage points can address for this situation. Then competitive balance. There is no single synthetic measure for competitive balance, so it's something that we didn't indicate a lot, but we have a dummies for previous performance in the past season. It doesn't account for a lot of things, but we have rank and point difference. Then probably the most important part for this study are the historical GDP proxies. Then I will just tell you how we build it, and the ticket price. The historical GDP proxies is a measure for the home and away income. I know that is not the best proxy as possible, but is the only one we could use. So we have the province, the GDP at a provincial level, so not free, until more or less 90, from today to the 91, I think. I don't know if you don't remember in a wrong way. And then we backcast it until 1963, using the growth of the national GDP and the proportion of the national GDP in the region and in the province. Okay, then correlation matrix. The main correlated matrix are, of course, provincial. This provincial proxy that I talked about a few seconds ago, and of course, is built in a way that are similar. They could be similar. Then there aren't big issues within the correlation matrix. Okay, so now I know that I will say something that probably is provocative and probably is no, I don't know, but I think that I will have a lot of question and a lot of points about this, because start from the assumption we talked before. So the idea is manipulating this data and thinking about a mental process a supporter or a consumer is takes when you have to take this decision to buy or not to buy the seasonal ticket, or buy or not to buy the match day ticket. I built this framework. There are two time occasions in this framework. The first one, it is connected with the decision to purchase a season ticket or not purchase it. So the consumer home, that I specifically call it consumer home, is that person who can buy or not the seasonal ticket. So this decision is connected with income, with the competitive balance of the team, of course, of the previous season, within the quality of the product, utility, and depends it depends how we measure the utility, the seasonal price, and other factors. For example, the venue, if is easy to reach the venue, and other factors that we don't have in this study. So there is a part of the consumer, of this group of people who can buy the seasonal ticket, who buy the ticket. There is another part, that is one less alpha, who cannot buy, or they don't decide to buy the seasonal ticket. So there is that second time occasion, that is the match day. Of course, we will have a lot of time occasion, but think about the first one that we have, the second one, in which we have these people who are the left part of the first group, and of course their decision is connected with income, competitive balance, quality of product, utility, price, weather, of course, because now also what's happening in that seasonal situation is important, and also other factor. Then there are all the other people that I'm addressing them as with a name. I'm labeling a consumer away. These people are the people who don't think about buying a seasonal ticket. So we have home supporters, away supporters, a lot of different of consumer, and they are connected with income, competitive balance, quality of product, utility. I put in yellow because there are different utilities, price, weather, the kilometers they have to do to reach the stadium, and other factors we don't address here. We don't account here in the presentation, this project for the moment. So this is an idea of a behavioral framework of the consumer that is trying to create something different from the classic supporter theory, I could say. Supporters are inside these two different groups. Don't know if I explain properly. If there are any questions, doubts? Okay, I go further. So to try to study it, we have a seasonal level and a match level. For the seasonal level, we are using these two different specifications. So in this case, match tickets are aggregated in a seasonal, also seasonal tickets are aggregated. And we have the home team, the season, because the time fixed effect is on the season, and of course, a bunch of explanatory variables. So we can start with the seasonal ticket. Yeah. Classic view, classic table, and you can see that I mean, I rely more on the second one with also fixed effect for season, and we can see that I mean, we can see also in this way. If you want, I will come back, but here I think is easier to follow for everybody. So there is a model 2 is the model with both the fixed effect. Model 1 is the one with only home team fixed effect. So there is a persistence effect among consumers who purchase a seasonal ticket. So the value, the past value from previous year is indicative for the future value, and we can see from here in the second coefficient, both are significant. There's also an important thing, very important thing, that the home consumer is sensitive to price. And we can see here, when we address for the season effect, the price is important. So this consumer, we can say that this good is a normal good. Also, they are also influenced by previous team's performance. And here, rank is very little, I know, but it's not involving 0, so is significant as is a determinant. And as you saw before, is negative. This is the why is negative, because of course when we put a rank is 1, 2, 3, first, second, third, and so on. So it has to be negative to have an impact. Serie B is if the team was in Serie B in the second league the year before. In reality, it doesn't have any. If you calculate the Serie B effect with the rank effect is 0, because I put in the rank when they are in the Serie B 21, and they are the perfect match between the one effect and the other one. The last thing is that our income, and here is for the normal good, our income proxy suggested purchasing a season ticket or a bundle of tickets, because it probably is better to call a bundle of tickets for a recurring experience, is a normal good. So if you're richer, you will buy more of this bundle. Yeah, of course, you can buy once with this assumption that I think is not so far from reality. So seasonal level, but the match day ticket. We now see the aggregate match day tickets sold in the year. Also here we have home fixed effect and home and season fixed effect. We can see that I go to the other one, this one. We can see also here the same. The first one, the red one, is home fixed effect. The blue-green one, the other one is with the model 2 is fixed, is home and season effect. So also here you can see that there's a persistence effect also in match day ticket, smaller, but it's smaller than in the seasonal ticket. Then we can see that home consumer is very sensitive to price in an aggregate level. In a seasonal level, this is very sensitive to price. But it's not so important. Our income proxy is not significant, indicating that the consumer is indifferent to price. The good is no longer a normal good in this configuration. This could be the question. Probably is something that we will explore also later. Could be an inferior good or not related. And here the the Serie B has an effect at the end because it's not cancelled with the rank effect. Okay. So yeah, Robert.
Hi. Could you give us a feel for the price elasticity of demand here? Is it close to -1?
Yeah, for which one? For match day or
match day.
Match day? Yeah, is yeah, this one.
Close to -1.
Yeah.
Have you got a test in the paper for this? It might help you if you did.
No, I have to.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of literature on this because if it's away from -1, obviously the clubs are not revenue maximizing. But if you're finding they are, that's kind of interesting, I think.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So we can. A story of true behavior. I put the both coefficient plot together, and we can see that the determinants are have a different impact. For example, we saw that the income or the proxy of our income for the match day tickets is not relevant, while for the seasonal ticket it is. Then we can focus also on the price, and the price is relevant for both, but is more relevant when you are trying to purchase a match day ticket. And yeah, so these two determinants and are a little bit different. So we can start thinking about a story of two behaviors, of two different situations, two different time occasion in which people think in a different way. And why are they thinking in a different way? Because is a different thing, a bundle or a single ticket, or because are different people who are trying to buy two different products. So to try to enrich this story, we can go through the match level to the match level, and these are the equation. We have 4 different equations because in the first one we are addressing only for the home team, then in the second one for home and season, and in the third one also for the away team, and in the last one we address also for the combination that I show you before between home and away team. Of course, here the number of observation is decreasing because we don't have the same teams each year. Okay, I know that the table is pretty hard to check, but I will try to highlight only the most important part. And then we are going to this coefficient plot that is easy to follow. So there are 6 models. The first one is are all the models are on the same sample size, so 1978 to 2002 season. And the first one we don't have precipitation and temperature average. While in the second one, yeah, we address also for the weather, and you will see that it's always significant. So for me, it was important to address also for these determinants. Then the specification, of course, are adding a different fixed effect. The only thing is the fourth model, in which for my mistake, I started thinking about the match level using the tickets sold and plus the seasonal ticket. So of course, I have a total attendance. But in this kind of studies, it's suggested to study only, excluding from the total the seasonal part, the seasonal tickets. Of course, we don't know if the seasonal ticket user is going or not to this particular match. It's something that with the information we have, we cannot know. But we can go now focus on the results. The match day attendance, in which we use match day attendance as dependent variable. For all this model, the uncertainty of outcome hypothesis is not relevant for the decision. First point. The second one is when accounting for season fixed effect, the income proxy for home consumers is always significant and negative, as we expect. Then, the income proxy effect for away consumer is always significant and negative. What does it mean? That there is a part of people who are coming from other region, other province or other region. Then the price sensitivity is strongly confirmed even at the match level. Also, this one we saw before, and now is confirmed also in the matches. An interesting negative effect emerges from a seasonal price adjustment per match. So what does it mean? As sorry if I go back here. In this idea, there is this one less alpha. What does it mean? That when you are selling a bundle at the end, you are, or you are saying, or you're selling a match day. When you're selling a bundle, you are, and the people who buy that bundle are people you decrease from the total of people who would like to go to the stadium. So if we come back to the model, the price as a negative price. If I can underline, I don't know if I can underline, but is this one. Okay. Yeah, this one. Okay. So there is could be is of course sorry, I didn't explain it in a proper way. You see that the coefficient is positive. But why is positive? Because if it's positive, it means that the total people who decided to purchase the bundle is small, and if it's small, the total people who wants to go the match is increasing, and there is this connection. So when a team, a club has to create a strategy, they have to think, okay, I want to maximize the revenue, as Robert was telling us before, or we can decide for another strategy. And it could be a strategy that is to have a stadium that is always full, so reducing the seasonal price, because reducing seasonal price, I will have more crowd for sure, and I have a different income flow, and then I can extract value in a different way from this consumer, this supporter. Then the quality and the performance of the team has a positive influence on all measurements. It means that if the precipitation, the temperature are good, there will be an increase in the stadium attendance. You have to think that in that sample size was different from today. Today we buy a ticket also a month before, 2 weeks, 3 weeks before. Normally, at that time, people went to the stadium to buy the ticket, so it was like closer to the day of the match. Another thing is that autumn in Italy is the best season to watch a match, while precipitation and temperature, as I said, are unexpected, as the expected effect is positive. Yeah, also the home percentage point and the away percentage point that are a metric of in quality of the football we can see is useful, because more is the quality, more people are going to see the match. Then also distance in Italy poses a significant barrier and has a negative impact. Of course, if we check for the combination effect, the fixed combination effect, either home away, the last one, the distance disappears because it's correlated with this effect, because it's always the same. Okay, while the total attendance as dependent variable probably is not important, but within this specification, the ascertaining outcome hypothesis becomes relevant with the classic U-shape and loss aversion. As classic, we find always the same in the literature. It's something that we can explore. Yeah, Alex?
Just sorry, I'm trying to follow. What's the difference between total attendance and match day attendance? I know you said it, but
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
No problem. Total attendance is the match day attendance is the total attendance less the seasonal ticket.
So these are only the single ticket buyers.
Yeah, single ticket buyers. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I will buy in. I will write in this way next time. Single ticket buyer. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So for a different, I mean, for one who could follow before, but if you couldn't, these are different models with different specification. As you see that more or less is change only the magnitude. Sometimes some effect, of course, probability of winning is not significant, because if the determinants cross the zero line, it is not significant. Also, the day are not significant in this sample, because normally matches were played only on Sunday and only at 3 o'clock. Okay, so other two models across different time ranges. Then there is this is a fun, is something interesting, but I mean, we have different. I ran the model with the same specification, so home fixed effect and season fixed effect, but in different period. You can see the period in the title of the model. And now we can easily check here what is the situation. I put only two models. The model in red is our biggest simple size, while the other one is the smallest. So he account also for weather. As you can see, and this is the reason I at the end I use the smallest sample size, is that the coefficients are more or less the same. It changes a little bit the magnitude, but they are more or less the same. When one is significant, also the other one is significant. When someone is some determinants are insignificant, the same in this other sample size. So another story we can try to tell is a different time period, different behavior. So here we are running in red the season between the 1978 to 2002, and then with the other one only the last 9 years before COVID. As you can see, for example, here the probability of win starts a little to become significant. So the ascertained of outcome hypothesis start to have an effect. I mean, you have to think that I use the same Dixon and Cole model for all the years, so there is no misspecification in that variable. The other feature more or less are the same. This is the greatest change, and it's something that we will explore. I didn't explore so much. So, conclusion, brief conclusion, key takeaways. We can say that bundle purchases versus single tickets, on-site stadium tickets, share common determinants, but with distinct impact, as we saw. In Italy, and this is a strong sentence to say, in Italy, football is not purely a religion. Because we saw that price is important when people take a decision, income is important, price is important if you repeat the decision. So clubs should carefully profile supporters to maximize value. And it's something that they don't know, because the managerial abilities in the Serie A clubs is not that high. Otherwise, the revenue would be different. Then the chosen model specification is crucial to accurately capture real relationship among variables. I'm saying this because checking the other study in the same time, it has completely different results. And then says season tickets are a normal good, while matchday tickets are either unrelated or an inferior good. Some limitation. The historical perspective may fall to reflect evolving consumer behavior. Of course, we are doing an historical perspective. Then there is this issue with the broadcasting, because probably broadcasting change the game. For sure, broadcasting change the game. We rely on an income proxy, then a direct income data, and I'm thinking how to find a different measure. And unfortunately, the panel data is unbalanced. So we have to address probably with a different model. For the future research, also the stadium attendance is going through this direction, to ending in a better way endogenous and exogenous factor. There's a little mistake, and a deeper exploration of purchase mechanism and broader framework generalization. I rely on the framework. That is something that I'm built in the few days ago. So it's something that for sure is limited and with full of mistakes, but it's something that I think we as a sport economists we have to think about something about that, a framework that we can sell, we can give to the clubs to create something different, to change the direction we are following. So this is more or less everything. There is an additional result if you want, but before it, I would like if you have any question, comments, I would like to listen to you. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much, Tazio. I'm going to give you a team's round of applause. That was a really interesting presentation on a long time period. Lots of complexities to try and convey, and a very credible effort. Lots of questions already fielded, and lots of time for any more questions and comments that people have. So if you do, there you got Stefan already. If you do have questions and comments, do raise your hand. Stefan, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great data set. So I mean, it's interesting, and I'm sure there are some things going on there. And whilst you were talking, I was looking up the Italian broadcasting story, and I concede you're right. The Berlusconi had very extensive highlights on TV, and that was much more extensive than anything you got in the UK, I think. And I think, but so. It's a question, but it might well be that you've got an interesting event study about when you transition from there.
For sure.
But I think the main thing I have to say about this is I really think this is I think there's a real problem with identifying price effects. And I don't know if you've read Roger Knowles' article from a paper from 2013, Endogeneity in Attendance Demand Models. But this is, I mean, don't take my word for it. I mean, take Roger's. Let me just read for you from his concluding paragraph. The first conclusion is that identifying an attendance demand equation by finding a good instrument for price is not likely to succeed. Second, the only plausible instrument is capacity, and this is likely to work only for bad seats when teams have mostly sellouts and when capacity exhibits substantial variation amongst teams in the league. Third, demand models ought to include separate equations for each quality of seat, and every equation should contain instruments for each price derived from first stage regressions of price on all exogenous variables, including all the capacities for each seat quality. I mean, Roger was, I mean, and you know, when I saw Roger present this paper back in the day, and one thing he said was, you know, he felt very guilty because he was one of the first people to run an attendance demand equation and interpret the price coefficient as an elasticity. And the point he's making in his paper is that is just utterly not credible. There is no, I mean, what he's saying in this paper is there's no real identification mechanism that you could credibly use for this kind of data. And I think what you should note is that, I mean, since Roger wrote this article and in the last decade or so, there have been very few papers claiming to estimate demand elasticities. That kind of claim has just vanished from the literature, I think, because in light of the endogeneity problem, it's not credible. So, you know, I want to say that it's great data set and there are interesting questions here, but the price elasticity stuff, I think, is just, you know, it's just really not going to fly, to be honest.
Thank you. I know that paper. I'm start reading it, but yeah, is yeah. Thank you for it. Nice suggestion, and yeah, is a thing. Is a thing. It's the only thing that we have only this data. So yeah, but thank you, Ronald.
Thanks, Stefan. Ronnie.
Apologies for joining late, gentlemen. Thank you, Fabio. Quite fascinating, and I'm anything but a professor of economics. I'm just a football fan, and I'm presuming this relates entirely to your league season ticket alone, because as a league season ticket holder in the UK, I have to apply on an individual basis for all cup competitions, and you are allowed preferential access, but not preferential price.
I think in Italy it's very different, the situation from the UK one, because in Italy a lot of times the number of the seasonal ticket is higher than the number of people who at the end buy it. So there is a problem because they can, for example, also today my team Inter Milan is hiding the data of how many seasonal tickets they are selling, because there are these problems. So I think is very different from the UK situation. But
you know, and
for
the
sure,
other thing,
yeah,
Fabio, 96, 97 was an incredibly unusual period for Serie A. It was the height of Gazzetta Italia in the UK. It was probably the most, other than Match of the Day, it was the most popular programme on British sports television. And that was at a zenith of Serie A performance, which must have surely skewed in slightly the normal patterns over that 20-year period.
Sorry, what is the question?
Right, given this 96, 97 period, what was the zenith of Serie A?
Okay.
And when you studies over a longer year period, then does that particular 2 seasons of incredible popularity, both at home and abroad, and certainly the broadcasting thing has been addressed, does that completely change the nature of those 2 seasons compared to the others?
Could be. It's something that we have to study. I mean, could be that for sure. I know that in UK was a thing, the Italian Serie A, because here in Reading I live with English people, and they told me that, and now it changed completely. I mean, few days ago there was Inter against Juventus, and I thought that Inter played very better than Juventus, and I check online in other newspaper what they thought about the match, and I didn't find any article about the match. That for us is the most important match of the season. So something happened. I don't know if I don't know, but something happened for sure in that period. We have to account for it.
I think, sadly, Fabio, it's just the British became more insular. But I still watch Serie A.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ronnie. Any more questions and comments? Boy.
Not really a question, but looking at this graph, there is this story that when a country is world champion, attendance in their league tends to increase. It happened in England in '66, and you see it here for 1982. But then you say that that drop in 2006 and 7 is because of Juventus. It's that strong, the Juventus effect. Can it really explain everything?
No.
Or maybe it's because we were world champions, but the scandal was so big that we just didn't want to watch domestic football.
Yeah. Good point. For sure, Juventus is a factor for me, because it's they have 20 million of supporters in the country. And normally are people not from Torino, not from Turin, from the south, from the center of Italy. So it's something for sure. I mean, we could compare, and we will do for sure, the Serie B, and see if in Serie B something has changed in a different way. But for sure, the scandal was big, was giant, and that is another point for sure.
And one final question: prices, prices vary per match. That is, when Milan comes, in this time period. I mean, I guess today it will, but in this time period, when if you're Bologna and Milan comes, you put a higher price than when Como goes, something like that. I mean, prices vary per home match.
Yeah,
they do.
Yeah. They do for sure. But unfortunately, we have this data. So
but because you have data on revenues, and I understand. But my point is, so you will see variation. But one thing is the variation you are seeing because of these inferred prices, and the other thing is whether because of what someone was asking before. Well, you might have fixed prices, but because the number of people going to each stand changes, then you will see variations. I'm just asking because
yeah,
you would say something about this. Sorry.
No. It's the point. I mean, it's the point. I think it's we can put in the limitation, because is a limit of this. I mean, there is this issue that we cannot address for also for everything Stefan read before. It's true. This is the situation, and if we want to do something with price, this is the only information we have in all the sample. I mean, all the history of football, Italian football, we have only this thing. So, or we can find a different an instrumental variable, but to find an instrumental variable, you have to find something to correlate to, and so is tough if we want to tell a story about including prices. The easiest solution is tell a story without prices at the end.
Thanks, Jorge. Just on that quickly, it's worth noting, it looks like there's a World Cup hosting effect in that data set, Tazio, given that you've got 1990, 91 is the peak of attendances, which is just after Italy hosted the World Cup, right?
It was in 90, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I can't be sure. But yeah, Alex has got his hand up for a question.
Yeah, so this is exactly the two things I wanted to say. So first of all, it's the World Cup effect, but this is probably new stadiums effect because they built or they renovated stadiums, right? Towards the 1990 World Cup. They built new stadiums or they renovated them. Is that correct?
Sorry, I didn't listen because I don't know. I didn't listen anything.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
So the 1990, it's probably not the World Cup effect, but the new stadiums effect or renovation effect, because they renovated many stadiums, I guess, if I remember correctly. And another interesting thing that you may look, because basically Stefan killed the entire story of prices. But the other thing that you can look at is the Bosman effect, because interestingly, after 97-8, I see really a drop in attendance. I don't know, from here I can see it. By the way, do you have a similar graph, but with the share of capacity, like that takes into account the stadium capacity?
From the first few slides,
Yeah. This one.
This one, okay. So you have, so you see, the same story. You see from Bosman, which was 90, what was it? 96.
96.
So let's say 97, 98, something like this, and then you see drop. Whatever, I don't know. Maybe it's a Italian economy. Maybe this is Bosman. Maybe I don't know. But many Italian players move to England, and then you lose the superstars. And once you lose the superstars, you lose attendance. So maybe you want to explore this if when you come back to us.
Oh yeah, he's gone, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He must have hit the
you
mute
heard
button
him.
rather than the share button. Never mind. Hopefully, wait a minute. Is he back in the lobby? No, that's just your hand, Ronnie. I'm going to put your hand down, Ronnie. Lower your hand.
Yeah.
Well, maybe since Tazio's left, I don't think it was. I don't think that was your question, Alex. At least I hope it wasn't.
No, that was more a suggestion for the future research, because the prices is. I discussed those issues with Stefan as well. This is close to impossible to do.
Yeah. Not got any messages from Tazio, so it's possible that his computer packed in, which means it's probably not the worst place to stop. You can see the recording later, and we can thank him, Tazio, for his presentation. Thank you, everyone else, for joining us as well today. We're not going to be meeting next week, so we'll take a break next week. And if anyone happens to be at the Sloan Analytics Conference in Boston, I will be there, so it'll be lovely to see anyone that is there. We'll return on March the 14th, so 2 weeks' time, when we'll have Augustin Indico from Carnegie Mellon University in Qatar on Do Professional Athletes Choke when they don't have time to stop and overthink? So, thank you very much, everyone.
Cheers.